Olivia Degennaro has the story.
That's right, Ryan and Madeline. Officers on scene tell us they responded to a report of a single gunshot here at Barbara Bennett Park at about 8:45 earlier tonight. The first officers on scene found a man in his 20s with a gunshot wound to his head. As you can see, I'm surrounded by hundreds of trees that were charred black that October night. Now, 6 months later, many homeowners are struggling to figure out what to do with all of the burnt trees on their properties. Well, Joe and Shelby, I'm standing at the intersection of Curry and Rhodes right now, and I want to show you this roadway here to my right, or what used to be a roadway. Water has eroded much of the asphalt. Most of the lanes of this freeway are ice-free tonight. It looks like the plows and the salt and the brine they put down have all done their job, but on side roads, that's not necessarily the case. If you'll follow me right over here to Evans Avenue, you'll see that snow and ice still pretty heavily covering this street, which is the case for many local streets around town. The trespassers said they were using this app called Let Go. It's similar to sites like Craigslist. They told police the app sent them to the wrong address, and they ended up in Vicky's backyard by mistake. Hey there, I'm at the 57th annual Virginia City Camel Races right now, and this is actually not the first time I've been on a camel today. I participated in the media races on camels earlier today. Pokemon Go is undoubtedly popular. In the past 7 days alone, millions of people have signed on to catch 'em all. A state worker in charge of making sure taxi and Uber drivers are following the law was hired by the Nevada Transportation Authority despite having a DUI himself. We are getting a better picture of what conditions fire crews are dealing with out here tonight. You can't see any of the flames or much of the smoke behind me right now, but you can see these charred hillsides that the Hollywood fire has left in its wake. I'm on scene of the Little Valley fire burning in Washoe Valley, and if you can see through all the rain and smoke behind me, flames continue to burn in the distance hours after this fire sparked early this morning. Trevor tells us he pulled into this Save Mart parking lot to try to get away from that road rage incident, but when he parked right here, he says it only made the situation worse because the trooper pulled up right next to him. Well, city officials tell me the 1998 opening of this theater was one of the best things that ever happened to Victorian Square. But now, more than 18 years later, Century Sparks is closing, and the future of this building is uncertain. Sam Hunt is a soldier. He's a boyfriend, a son, and a Nevada native. And Sam is also the first openly transgender man in the Nevada National Guard.
I was over in the Air Force probably for about 6.5 years. And really it was just wanted that challenge.
But long before Sam enlisted in the military, he was a young athlete growing up in northern Nevada.
I went to high school at McQueen. I was a 3-sport athlete. I played soccer, basketball, and softball.
And his love of sports led him to become a standout softball player at the University of Nevada.
Athletics, it gave me a routine. It kind of made me who I am. And so it was a huge part of my life.
But while sports always came easy to Sam,
growing up, I was always just kind of accepted as one of the boys.
Dressing up on game days did not.
I had to start dressing as a girl, or try to fit in that way anyways, and was super uncomfortable.
Sam joined the military after graduating from the University of Nevada, content to wear the baggy, gender-neutral uniform. But it wasn't until 6 years later that he started exploring options to feel more comfortable in his own skin. While Sam was deployed in Kuwait, the Department of Defense lifted its transgender ban for service members.
And realized like, oh yes, I can do this now, I can be open about it. And not necessarily open like, hey, here I am, but open like, I can actually go through this and not be reprimanded by it.
In the fall of 2015, Sam started transitioning. He began taking hormones and started the process to change his name and gender. His next step, approaching the chain of command.
They were unbelievably accepting. They're like, yeah, of course. Anything else? And then it was done.
Sergeant Hunt is still waiting on final approval from the National Guard Bureau to officially be recognized as a male. But he says his fellow soldiers have never treated him otherwise.
And anybody that I've told, any of my friends, the people I've worked with, have been absolutely amazing.
And while he's not serving his country, Sam works as a substance abuse and family therapist intern. He says he's always felt a calling to help others.
I love my job. I love helping people. It's been something that I think I've done my whole life.
And he agreed to share his story with us with that same purpose in mind.
I wanted to be a role model. I wanted to be there for the people who maybe don't have that support, for the people who aren't sure, to know that there are people who are supportive out there and that there is this journey that each individual person goes through, and it's okay for what you're going through.
Sam says the military lifting its transgender ban has allowed him to feel more comfortable doing something as simple as going to the bathroom at work. A second phase of that policy is expected to go into effect in just a couple of days on July 1st. It'll allow people who already identify as transgender to enlist, but now military leaders are asking the Defense Secretary to delay that new policy by at least 6 more months. Reporting from the newsroom, I'm Olivia Degennaro. Hey Madison, well, as you can see, we have moved locations since our live shot at the top of our 11 o'clock hour to show our viewers, give them a closer look at the scene here. You can see dozens of officers parked on Kitski right now. That just gives you an idea of the scope of this incident, and accompanying these officers are dozens more patrolling side streets, all actively searching for a suspect on the loose in this officer-involved shooting that happened in this area tonight. Well, it's a Sunday evening and I'm standing right in the middle of Victorian Square, but there's hardly anyone around. Well, that's going to change in the next couple of years because developers are investing millions of dollars to completely renovate downtown Sparks. We are outside of the Reno Convention Center on the corner of Virginia and Peckham, where about 50 protesters, as you can see, are making their voice heard. I'm standing at the corner of East 6th Street and Evans Avenue right now, and as you can see behind me, this piece of land is pretty much just an empty lot right now, but that could soon change because Apple is hoping to build here. So we will remain on scene, try to gather some more information and bring you updates both on our website as well as on our sister station, My News 4, throughout our evening newscasts. Reporting live in Washoe Valley. Reporting from Mount Rose. Reporting live in downtown Reno, I'm Olivia Degennaro.